Hello everyone, this is Dr. M.S. Balakrishna, oral and maxillofacial surgeon. Today, I'll be discussing the extraction forceps in a very easy manner. So, dear students, as you know, we have got two sets of forceps. One is the American pattern, the second one is the British pattern. So, what we generally follow is the British pattern of instruments or forceps. So, coming to the forceps, you can very well see here one forceps which is on the row number 1, all the beaks are projected upwards, whereas in the second row they are not. So, definitely there is a difference between both of them. Now, the rule number 1, what you should be doing before picking up any instrument for your spotters or identifying, always remember whenever you are going to hold a maxillary forceps, your palm should be up. So, if I am taking a maxillary forceps, the palm should be up, whereas for a mandibular forceps, the palm down it should be, palm down. Okay. So, let us begin one by one. So, coming to the mandibular set of forceps. So, now this is the first forceps. So, any forceps has got 3 parts: beak, hinge and handle. Now, coming to the mandibular forceps, when you put it on a slab, what you see is the beak and the hinge, they both are 90 degree to the handle, which is very well evident. So, it is just like 90 degree, 90 degree. The beak is 90 degree to the handle. So, this rule will be applicable for all the mandibular forceps. Now, how to identify the mandibular anterior forceps? Now, very well you can see that this beak resembles the beaks of a bird, and if you look very closely, the beaks are almost approximating or close to each other. They are in close contact. So, for mandibular forceps, the beaks are contacting. So, that is mandibular anterior forceps. Next one is mandibular premolar forceps. So, this, how does it look different from anterior forceps? In anterior forceps, the beaks were closed, whereas in premolar forceps, you can see here, when you hold it, the beaks are open. There is a gap between the beaks, and when you open that, it is a smooth end. So, mandibular anterior forceps, beaks are closed. Mandibular premolar forceps, beaks are slightly open and the beaks are smooth. Next, coming to mandibular molar forceps. So, how is it different from the other forceps? First of all, it is not an anterior forceps because the beaks are open. Now, when you feel the beaks, there are pointed ends, whereas in premolar forceps, the beaks were smooth. So, definitely this is not anterior forceps, this is not premolar forceps. So, this is your molar forceps. Now, when you see the beaks very clearly, you have got sharp ends, and mandibular molars, there are 2 roots, mesial and distal. So, these 2 beaks will go and engage in the furcation areas. There is no left, no right for mandibular teeth forceps. Then comes your cow horn forceps, cow horn. So, it looks like the horns of a cow. So, this cow horn forceps are used where there is grossly decayed teeth or where the furcation is intact and you want to break the furcation and take out the teeth. So, you can see in a close quarter, these beaks are sharp ends and it resembles the horn of a cow. So, this is your mandibular cow horn forceps. So, in a nutshell, anterior forceps, beaks are closed; premolar forceps, beaks are open and smooth end; molar forceps, beaks are open with a sharp end, and cow horn forceps resembles the cow's horn. So, there is no left and right, you can use it in either side of your jaws. Now, coming to maxillary forceps. So, the maxillary forceps, what you can see, so when you put it on a slab, on a plain surface, you can see the beak, hinge and the handle all lie in the same plane, whereas in the mandibular forceps, they were 90 degrees to each other. The beak and the handle were 90 degrees to each other. In maxillary, it is not. The resemblance between both of them, in mandibular forceps, anterior forceps, the beaks were closed. Similarly, in the maxillary anterior forceps, the beaks are closed. So this is one common feature between the anterior forceps of uppers and lowers. So this you should be noting it down. Next, coming to the premolar forceps, maxillary premolar forceps. So you can see here from premolar forceps onwards, the beak is at an angulation to the handle and it is always facing upwards. So this is your maxillary premolar forceps. Now why it is not anterior? Because anterior the beaks are closed, premolar the beaks are slightly open, what you can easily identify here. And when you open it and see in the close quarters, the beaks are smooth, there is no sharp ends. So this is maxillary premolar forceps, there is no left, no right. You can work on first quadrant and second quadrant as well. Now comes the major forceps where you should be knowing it, that is your maxillary molar forceps onwards. So from here onwards there will be left and right which you should be able to identify. Now coming to maxillary molar forceps. Now we know that maxillary molars has got three roots, mesiobuccal, distobuccal and palatal. So now mesiobuccal, distobuccal, two roots are there and palatal. So there is a furcation or a place to engage between mesiobuccal and distobuccal. So this is your maxillary molar forceps. Left or right we will try to identify. So when you look at this, this is not an anterior forceps because the beaks are open here. This is not a premolar forceps because the beak you can look at here, it is a sharp end, whereas in premolars it was smooth end. Now this is molar forceps. Now when you see both the ends of these beaks, one end is very smooth, another end there is a sharp end. So this sharp end will go into the furcation, that is between the mesiobuccal and the distobuccal root. Now I am the operator. Now when I hold the instrument in my hand, this sharp end is on my left side. My left hand is this. So this sharp end is on my left side. So this is patient's right. Patient's upper right molar forceps. Similarly, the other end. This is again the other side of the maxillary molar forceps. You can see that the sharp end, one side is sharp, the other end is smooth. So the sharp end will go into the furcation between the mesiobuccal and distobuccal roots. This is on my right side. I am the operator. This is on my right side. So this will go to patient's left side you will be operating. So this is how you should identify maxillary molar forceps. Now coming to maxillary cowhorn forceps. Cowhorn forceps are used in a grossly decayed teeth to crush the roots and then take out the teeth individually. Again coming to the forceps, when you look in the close quarters, you can see here one end resembles like cow horn, it's a sharp end. The other one, it is two ends are there, two pointed ends are there. So always remember this single sharp end should go buccally. Why buccally? Because you got mesiobuccal root, distobuccal root. Two roots are there on the buccal aspect. So this should always go buccally. So now when you put on the patient, this beak on compared, I am the operator, it is on my right side. So this is patient's left. Similarly, the other cow horn, when you open up and see, the sharp end is on my right side. So it is patient's left. Next comes your bayonet forceps. So this bayonet forceps are used to remove single tooth, where if it's a molar tooth where the roots are broken, you can split the roots and take out one by one. Why it is called bayonet? You can see the sharp end. Bayonet is an instrument where you can see outside a bank or a security guard, people will have a rifle where a sharp knife will be there through which they can stab. That is called bayonet. So similarly, it looks like that, so it is called bayonet. So this is used for removing the roots or even root forceps also you can call it. So whenever your anterior tooths also broken, crown is broken, root stems are there, you can still try with this. Then you have a special instrument, this is maxillary third molar forceps. You can see that the hinge is very long. Between the beak, hinge and handle, this area is angulated. So this is for the accessibility. So there is no left side and right side for the maxillary third molar forceps. So basically, mandibular forceps, there is no left and right. For maxillary forceps, anteriors and premolars, no left and right, only maxillary molars and cow horn forceps, left and right. So I hope this session would have helped you. Thank you.